France is facing a rolling agricultural revolt. From Paris to Dijon, farmers are blocking streets, storming buildings, dumping manure, burning tires, and openly defying the state. The trigger is the EU-Mercosur trade deal and broader EU free trade agreements, which farmers say are flooding France with cheaper imports, destroying contracts, and wiping French products off supermarket shelves. At the center of the anger, Brussels and President Emmanuel Macron, accused of failing to protect French agriculture. The first flashpoint erupted outside Lidl headquarters in the Paris suburb of Châtenay-Malabry. Farmers poured milk onto supermarket windows, rang cowbells, banged saucepan lids, and dragged full-size cow effigies into the street. They say retailers are cutting direct purchase contracts while quietly replacing French produce with cheaper foreign imports enabled by EU trade policy.
We are protesting today in front of the Lidl store and at the headquarters, because this is where the decisions are made, because we've observed that for a year and a half, direct contracts with producers have been dropping sharply in volume.
Farmers say the problem goes far beyond one supermarket chain. They accuse the EU's free trade framework of creating systematic unfair competition, allowing imports produced under lower standards and lower costs to undercut French farming.
And French products are being promoted much less. There are still some, but they are highlighted much less. And above all, there is unfair competition, notably with countries in Eastern Europe. Just now I was telling you about the Poles, but we found milk coming from Denmark, dairy products coming from Germany, we found lamb from New Zealand. So, all of these are products coming from areas where it costs much less than here in France. So those contracts, ultimately, constitute unfair competition compared to what we are able to produce on French soil.
The protest then escalated into a direct confrontation with the French state. In central Paris, farmers from the Confederation Paysan Union climbed fences and occupied an annexe of France's agriculture ministry. Police moved in, forcibly removing protesters and arresting at least 20. Union leaders say peaceful warnings have been ignored, leaving repression as the only response.
We want to talk to the French people. We are fighting for everyone's health. We are fighting for the common good, for the general interest. In fact, it's unbearable. We are fighting. We are never fighting solely for our own interests. When we fight here, we are fighting against pesticides, for farmers, but also for citizens. When we fight for a sustainable world, it's for everyone. But in fact, politicians and law enforcement clearly don't want that kind of world, and it's not possible to continue down this path. They're leading us straight into a brick wall. We have solutions, but no one is listening to us, and the only response we get is the police.
From Paris, the revolt spread east to Dijon and turned openly anti-Brussels. Tractors blocked roads. Farmers dumped manure, hay, and tires outside environmental and agricultural offices. EU flags were planted on the piles and set on fire. Young farmers accused authorities of blocking local investment while allowing low-quality foreign imports to pour in.
We are short of chickens, they come from Brazil and Ukraine, and today anyone who wants to set up a chicken farm is prohibited from doing so. But it is today that we need chickens. It is today that we need to invest. Young people want to believe in it. They want to invest. But the authorities are prohibiting them from doing so, while at the same time turning a blind eye to what is coming in from abroad, which does not comply with any standards.
At the heart of the uprising is a political accusation that cuts directly at the presidency. Farmers say France no longer controls its own agricultural destiny, that Europe dictates policy, and Macron has failed to draw red lines. As Brussels pushes ahead with Mercosur, farmers warn this revolt is only beginning.
I think that today Europe is running France, and today Macron isn't defending us. He doesn't want to defend French agriculture. We are the finest agricultural country in the world, with the best gastronomy, and today we are not being defended at all by our president.